Hey lovelies, welcome to the trailer of this new podcast, Creating Healthy Wealth in Motherhood. Brought to you by me, Peti Morgan, host of LeveragedMama.com, and I'm so excited to be starting this podcast. Who is this podcast for? What are we going to be talking about? And who the heck am I? Well, we're just going to cover that briefly in this trailer. So this podcast is for working mothers looking for a healthier way to create wealth in motherhood. Now, I believe that way is through creating leveraged income streams, ideally passive leveraged income streams. And this podcast is another way for me to spread that message and spread that idea. And, I will be teaching my audience and my tribe about how to build and create these leveraged income streams, which are really motherhood friendly because they can bring you money in your sleep. Once it's created, it's a product that you can sell to many. That's why it's leveraged, and again and again and again. And as you grow your business, you can earn quite a significant amount more than you may have been able to in a traditional 9-to-5 role. So about that 9-to-5 kind of traditional role, I just don't think that it has adapted to modern motherhood. Just little things like the fact that our kids have like 3 months off during the year and we get like 1 month. Even if you add up two parents, you're a two-parent family, you still don't even get the same amount of holidays as your kids. So it hasn't adapted. It's not modernised to our parenting these days. So I am an advocate for creating income streams on the side, in the background, so that they can support you better. So if you are either in a 9-to-5 corporate role or any kind of job that requires you to work for an employer, and you're employed and you can have annual leave and take sick days and all that sort of stuff, or maybe you are on maternity leave and you're like, I just can't go back. How am I going to make that work? My story was that I got postnatally depressed and then I had to go back to work, and that really sucked. So I'm just going to run quickly through a few topics that we're going to talk about in this first series of the podcast, Creating Healthy Wealth in Motherhood, and see if it rings your bell. I'm not saying that these are exactly what we're going to be talking about. They're going to be a variety of topics and I might change things up, but hey, this is a bit of an idea. So we'll be talking about things like the pros and cons of being a working mum in this generation. Like that traditional approach, which I just spoke about, doesn't work anymore. But hey, we've got the internet, and that changes things a lot for us and our generations. We talk about leverage income, why it's so healthy for motherhood, or a healthier option. Talk about things like including your finances and self-care in your self-care routine, and how do you actually do that. Traps for modern mothers like consumerism, how to escape it without going full frugal, which no one really enjoys. Come on, tell me. I'm going to talk you through how we are using Dave Ramsey's snowball method to pay off our family's debt. And we'll go into the truth of that, and how it really is. Does it work? Is there a safe way to transition financially from working mum to business mum? Probably. I haven't discovered that yet, but we're getting there. Getting your partner on board financially with your business idea or ideas, as in my case. The vision that I have for my motherhood-friendly business and how I believe that it's going to change the course of my family's future and ultimately yours. We might talk about things like, do you need an accountant for your small business? And when? Why and how you should always be preparing your business for growth, because we don't want to be creating just a job for ourselves. We want to be creating a profitable business. And, just even starting with, how do you create funds and space in your life to build a profitable business in 2020, profitable online business. But anyway, who am I to talk about all of this stuff? Well, I am Peti Morgan and I host the Leveraged Mama blog, which has been around for almost 3 years now, I can't believe, and came about because when I became a mum at age 39 after IVF, because of severe endometriosis, I found myself postnatally depressed. We had a number of... it was a major family trauma at the time I did finally get pregnant, and after a few years of IVF and miscarriages, I was a bit of a wreck anyway. I had this major family trauma, and at the same time I was made redundant from my full-time 6-figure job. So that was, a really trying time for us. And at the time I thought, whoa, this I don't like this. I was burned from being made redundant, but also I, after becoming postnatally depressed, not really surprising given the state that I was in at the time, we had some sleep issues as well. I really could not understand how I was going to go back to work and function like a normal person, and it was really hard to do that. So I wanted to come up with, I thought surely other women are going through this. Surely other mums are like, what the heck? This can't be the only way. I don't want to be like poor. I want to have money and options. So how do we do this without burning out and actually still be able to enjoy our motherhoods? So that's where the blog came about. I'm 42 years old. I'm a New Zealander. I live in Wellington. Grew up in Fiordland in a beautiful little town called Te Anau, which I called Te Anau for most of my life because I didn't know any better. I'm part Māori, and I'm much better at pronouncing Māori names these days. I come from a blended family, nuclear and blended, and I've been through a number of 2 separations now, divorces of my parents, not myself. I'm married to Tani. We're coming up to 10 years married. We have a beautiful, smart young daughter named Mila. She's 4 years old, going to school this year. Oh my God. And my husband he's a software engineer. He has been working in that industry for quite some time. I also spent most of my career in that industry, in a variety of different business and company types, and it pays well. So it is pretty hard to come from what's that saying, it's easy to leave the bad for the good, but it's harder to leave the good for the great. So giving up a 6-figure career was not really an easy choice, but this is what I aim to do, and I aim to help people in the process do the same thing and not burn themselves. So my motherhood journey, as I mentioned, I have had severe endometriosis in the past, and it caused a lot of scarring, which meant that I had to get IVF done for to just get and remain pregnant, and that was really difficult, but we're very grateful to have been able to go through that process. Had a few miscarriages, and now I feel like I'm definitely on it's a very, very slow incline back to whatever normality is, but it's going to be bigger and better than it was before. My whole life has changed since my daughter arrived, in so many ways. So motherhood is definitely a journey for me, and there's no destination, it just is. It's the journey, and I love it, and it's hard, and it's challenging, and it's wonderful. So I am going to be releasing new episodes weekly, so hit subscribe, and I will be asking you every time you listen, if you listen this far, to give a 5-star review, because this will help get the podcast out to other mums that may need to hear this too. I'm super excited to be on board with us, and can't wait to get into the first episode. I'll see you there.